Transfer Talk episode 11. Jer here at the Leeds View for your end of week wrap up of what's been said about Leeds United and potential transfer targets, or rumours of players, or murmurings somewhere that someone's flying somewhere and someone's dad knows a friend who said that the cleaning lady saw a player hanging around Torp Arch. We'll go through all of it as per normal in as much detail as we can. As per usual, this is all opinion based from me, but I will try and give you all of the detail around what has been said about players that have been linked or rumoured to Leeds United, who has said it, when they said it, and if there's any credibility to it. We also take a look at the other side of the media. So if it's Leeds along with other clubs being linked with a move for a player, we'll look at what they're saying on their social media side of things about those links to see who has been linked stronger with the players over the course of the last 7 days. There's a bit of stuff to kind of get off the table to start off with over the course of this week. It's been a weird week. It's gone very quiet around potential incomings for Leeds United, which could get very exciting in the next 2 weeks. Leeds have shown in previous windows that when they need to pick up the pace to get a couple done, they can do it. Coming into the last 3 weeks of the window, 3.5 weeks of the window, so they would need to speed up in what they do want. There's been confirmation again from the local media that Leeds are actively right now looking for a left back, because Gabby Goodmunson's going to miss at least the first game of the season, if not the first 2 games of the season, with a hamstring problem there. If they get an issue with Jaden Bogle, James Justin can't play in 2 positions, so that does need to be looked at. They're still looking at a number 10/wide man, and they're still looking at a centre forward as well as a goalkeeper backup as well. So still 4 players Leeds are looking to bring in. In that, 2 to 3 of them are essentially backup options or competition options, which could get interesting over the next 20 odd days of the transfer window, probably more than that. Now, in this week, we saw 1 player come in, James Trafford. Since then, it's gone desperately quiet on incomings. We're likely to see possibly the exit of 2 or 3 players in the next 7 to 14 days. 1 definitely looks like it's happening very imminently. The other 2 could be starting to pick up pace, and we'll get to them in a bit more detail. So yeah, Leeds still working on 3 or 4 signings, at least of right now. Now, there's mixed reports on flights coming in to Leeds. We'll clarify that today as well. And other reports of, again, rumoured players. Ayase Ueda has been linked again with Leeds United. I've had a bit of a deeper look into it. The link to Leeds goes way back to the start of May. There's nothing recent on that one as well. So he has been linked with other clubs that have come up into the Premier League this season as well. But we'll start off on our deep dives into Lucas Perri and where we are with his exit from Leeds United. So Lucas Perri, 28, 6'5", right-footed goalkeeper from Brazil, looks to be heading out the door of Leeds United. The domino effect of James Trafford joining Leeds United has kicked in, and Leeds United have greenlit his exit to Torino, which is expected to happen imminently. The local media have reported there's either a knee or a quad injury, depending on what outlet you read, and they're just waiting for that to get sorted out before he goes. But reports in Italy think it's far more imminent than that. Tuttosport are reporting on Friday that Torino were sorting out the final few pieces on Lucas Perri and expected the deal to get done rapidly. He's expected in Turin this weekend. The paper also said the deal was never really in doubt. There were some mild rumours that his agent might have been getting in the way over commission payments. There was also talk that Torino were getting a bit impatient with Leeds United taking so long to get their keeper sorted, so we're going to look elsewhere. That doesn't appear to be the case. In terms of the deal itself, Tuttosport in Italy are saying it is a loan with an option to buy, which has been widely reported by everybody. They're saying that it's an 11 million euro fee, which is about 8.79 million pounds, thereabouts. And if Torino were to trigger this before the 1st of July 2027, which is the ideal timeframe for Leeds because of the SCR window, he would sign a deal with Torino until June 2030. So that's all been put on paper. Should they decide to trigger it, and we all know as Leeds fans, no guarantee that that's going to happen because it's Leeds and it's options to buy, not obligations. So if he has a good season and they don't decide to trigger it, maybe other clubs get involved and Leeds can bring in more money for him. If they do decide to trigger it, the earlier the better from an SCR perspective for this season. So that's that one. Trino Granata, by the way, and CuoreToro have also both reported over the weekend that Perri is expected in Italy imminently and that this deal is essentially all but done. So there we go. We like to see James Trafford wearing the number 1 shirt next week, possibly even against Manchester United on Wednesday in Dublin. More to come on that. I'll be at that game myself if you're around there. Let me know if you see me. You want to have a chat? Give me a nudge. If you don't, That's cool. No problem at all. I get a point. Anyway, let's move on to talk about Joel Piroe. So not a great couple of days for Joel Piroe. Striker, 27, left footed, 6 foot. Right, that's that stuff out of the way. No minutes in the past 2 friendlies for Joel Piroe. Didn't get off the bench against Liverpool. More concerningly for him was he didn't manage to get any minutes in what essentially was 2 60-minute matches yesterday against RB Leipzig. Daniel Farke opting to give the younger players more game time ahead of him and stick with Lucas Mecha and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Now, Farke has spoken about this and some reports have come out this morning about this to give a bit more detail. And essentially, he said that Dominic Calvert-Lewin needed more minutes because he missed the first game of pre-season, and that Lucas Mecha had scored goals, which nudged him ahead of Joel Piroe, who obviously didn't get a Premier League goal last season. Did score in the first game against Wrexham, I think it was against Wrexham, missed the penalty in that game as well. But he's clearly third in the pecking order. Leeds United also are believed to be looking to bring in another number 9 as well. And if he's not getting minutes right now, he's likely to get pushed even further down the pecking order. So all of this looks like it's going to signal the end of Joel Piroe's time at Leeds United. He wants to stay. He's made that clear and fight for his position. But I think the writing's on the wall here. Didn't get on yesterday. They're bringing another striker in. I think his agency needs to be having a chat with him at this stage, going, Joe, you're not going to play this year, mate. If you want to get a football under your belt, you're going to need to move away from the football club. Sky Sports last week confirmed that they expect Joel Piroe and Willie Gnonto both to exit Leeds this summer. No confirmed reports on any interest in Willie Gnonto outside the earlier summer link with Freiburg. But on the links to Piroe, it's been pretty quiet and slow on this. But then you need to take into consideration as well, the Leeds have acted like this in all their exits so far. There has been no information come out about players leaving the club and then gone. So all undisclosed fees are nominal fees. Leeds are rumoured to want between 8 to 10 million pounds for Joel Piroe. The clubs that have been linked with him via other media outlets, Birmingham City, Stoke City and Middlesbrough, have all said to have had a look or inquired about a possible move for Joel Piroe. He doesn't want to move back to the Championship, so that could get tricky. PSV Eindhoven had a look at him earlier last year, look again in January. No reports suggesting they're looking at him right now. So there's no live bids, at least publicly. And again, the way Leeds are behaving this summer, you're likely just hearing an announcement. You get the feeling, though, yesterday, because he didn't get off the bench, that he was just sitting on the bench as cover in case anything happened to Piroe and Mecha and DCL, which didn't happen. And then maybe Leeds were just having him involved. So could be the last time you see Joel Piroe in a Leeds United shirt. So we'll have to wait and see how that one goes. We've got 2 potential rumours of incomings, but these are very much rumour mill territory. No point in telling you anything else. They're pretty speculative, at least right now. Definitely the first one. Jovon Makama, 22-year-old striker from Norwich City, 6 foot in height. Very conflicting reports on this one. And for me, this one sits very much in the rumour mill pinch of salt territory for right now. But as always, we'll give you the detail. You can make up your own mind on this. One report from the Norwich City end has said that Norwich City are expecting and are prepared for a bid from Leeds United for the young striker. And if that is true, then that would suggest that talks between the clubs have already happened and between him and his representatives have already happened as well, because you're not going to go towards a bidding stage unless you know what the ballpark figure is right now. Now, all of that is just rumour and conjecture. It was put out on Wednesday. There's been a huge amount of detail. Since then, there was a very blurry photograph of a person sitting in the West Stand yesterday, which was easiest spot because the West Stand was empty. And it was rumoured to be Makama. It's not clear. The camera wasn't clean. And the image is very, very blurry. His hair was the source of the likeness on this one. There was just it looked like his hair, but it could have been anybody else with that haircut as well. But that's where the source of the rumour yesterday comes from, which, I mean, it's not a lot to go on, is it? It's really not. On Makama himself, he joined Norwich City last season from Lincoln City for £1.2 million. And he started the season really well. He had 18 starts. He'd scored 10 goals. Then he got an ankle injury, which pretty much ended the season. And that was in February. So he didn't miss out on the bulk of the second half of the season. He's rumoured to be fit and healthy and fine now. He's got a contract at Norwich that runs until 2028. So they're not in a massive rush to sell him right now. Could be an affordable one. Could be a player Leeds see with growth. 22 years of age would be a lower age bracket of what they have not tended to go for. But in this window, Leeds are looking to lower that age profile. So yeah, nothing really credible on this one right now. Still floating around. But again, given how Leeds have behaved this summer, don't be surprised if that gets announced on Monday morning. We'll see. And then the last one to talk about is a return and an update on Igor Paixao and where we are with this. And to be very clear on this one has limped across the line into another week. Some pickup in the momentum of this in the last 48 hours, but more on clarity of the information around this story and other clubs that have been linked with him. The core of this story remains exactly the same as it was last week and the week before. As of last week, Leeds were still being labelled as an interested party, liked them, but no formal offer or move had been made for him. We saw his price tag drop dramatically last week from 50 million euro down to in and around 35 million euro, which is a significant drop. Marseille in financial meltdown right now, and Leeds could be waiting to try and capitalise on that situation. Then we got to the back end of the week, and all of a sudden, Aston Villa's interest or involvement in this seemed to skyrocket, and they were rumoured and in the media to be actively making a move for Igor Paixao. There were reports of bids going in, negotiations, advanced negotiations and talks. All of that, at least for now, doesn't appear to actually be the case. Two fresh updates over the course of this weekend have changed this story from competition perspective. Santi Auna in France has basically said that Aston Villa are not currently in the market for a left winger, which, if true, removes Leeds' competition on this one. And that's if, and a big if, Leeds United are actively looking at pursuing him. We've been told that Igor Paixao is third on Leeds' list for that position, which is really interesting now because I would have assumed Pavel Schultz was on that list as well. But the stories of him during the week suggest that Leeds are not interested in him and not moving for him right now. So who are the two? Who's the other two that are on that list right now? I'd love to know who they are. L'Equipe in France have said that Leeds made contact with Marseille this month, which is only 9 days old. So that's over the last week since last weekend that Leeds have made an inquiry about him. 35 million euro is said to be the asking price, so about 29-ish million pounds, similar to what he went to Marseille for last summer. Villa's interest has been described more recently as contact being made with Marseille earlier in the window. And if Villa are not in negotiations for a left winger right now, then this interest probably, and this contact probably happened before they brought in Garnacho. Villa are in a very strange position where they're watching their SCR situation. Their wages are their biggest problem with SCR. They're already involved in an agreement with UEFA over breaching UEFA's SCR. They're watching pennies. It's unlikely they're going to bring in two players in the exact same position when they need to strengthen elsewhere, and his wages will be a significant amount as well. So Garnacho seems to have moved Villa out of the way. If reports are to be believed, it's a clear run for Leeds United should they decide they want him. Now, there's more images of planes leaving places and landing in Leeds Bradford. There's a photograph of a plane floating around from Marseille. I've had a quick look this morning. There's no planes due in, private or otherwise, into Leeds Bradford Airport from Marseille this weekend. I'm not even sure if he's still in the Netherlands training right now. I'm not sure if they've moved their camp back to France, although their league, I think, kicks off next weekend, so maybe they are back. But yeah, nothing credible there, unless they're flying him to an airfield near Leeds, which Leeds did try to do when they tried to bring Harry Wilson in January. They were flying him to an airfield and not into Leeds Bradford. So if you want to keep it private, maybe you do that. But yeah, nothing credible on that one right now. And it is very much floating around in the ether right now whether Leeds are genuinely interested in the move for Igor Paixao, watching the situation, monitoring it, interested but not actively pursuing the usual buzzwords of this summer. So yeah, we'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. But as I say, it's gone very, very quiet. One other potential exit that did pop up, by the way, is young Sam Chambers in the Leeds United under-21, who hasn't been involved with the first team in terms of game minutes. We've seen Reece Chadwick, who, my God, Reece Chadwick's filled out in the last 12 months, hasn't he? Physical young lad. But a report from a fanzine over on the Sheffield Wednesday side believed that Sheffield Wednesday are interested in signing Sam Chambers on loan, so he could be joining up with Harry Gray at Sheffield Wednesday next season. Gray had a very good debut yesterday. We'll give you that detail on Loan Watch tomorrow as that kicks back in, with the season starting in the Championship and the League One. Championship next week, League One yesterday. And, well, EFL Cup. There we go. Limped over the line. Anyway, folks, that's it for me today. Massive thanks to everyone who joined us on our first watch along on YouTube yesterday. We normally do them over on bigup.com. That platform is being updated at the moment, and that's why we did it on YouTube. Great to see so many people there. If you do like our watch alongs, you can follow us on bigup.com when it kicks back in. I'll let you know about that. But outside of that, I'm going to have one quick last final look at the phone to see, has anything mental happened in the last couple of minutes? Shay Charles has gone to Fulham. £30 million, which I think is far too much money for a 22-year-old player in the Championship. Time might suggest that's a good fee. We'll see. Anyway, folks, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. See you. Bye.